guys, and welcome to my Why I Chose Notre Dame video. Today I'm just going to be talking about how Notre Dame got on my radar and why I ended up going there. Before I get into that, I wanted to remind you to please subscribe if you are interested in Notre Dame college content or just like freshman advice in general, and then also just lifestyle vlogs. Those will be happening too, kind of, and like quarantine content. I'm going to be trying to post twice a week. That way I can keep you entertained during the quarantine. This is a good way to spend your time. And another thing that I wanted to mention was if you're an incoming student to Notre Dame or you've been admitted and you're trying to decide if you want to go to Notre Dame, then you can feel free to leave questions in the comments, and you can also DM me questions on Instagram and I'd be happy to answer those for you. Don't feel bad if you ask a lot of questions. I enjoy talking about Notre Dame because I like it there and it's fun for me to like reminisce on my memories, so I enjoy answering them. And also, like, if you leave them in the comments, other people can answer you too, and you can get different perspectives on it and build a little community in the comments, and that's what we're all about at Notre Dame. So just as another disclaimer, this isn't affiliated with Notre Dame. This is just my personal story. So yeah, the first thing that I wanted to talk about was when I was deciding to go to college. As I had mentioned in my last video, I didn't really have like any idea of what I was doing, and I didn't really know where I wanted to go because a lot of my family members just went to local universities kind of in my area, such as like UTEP or NMSU, just things kind of close to Texas. And I had known that I didn't really want to go to those schools. Two things that I was looking for was a college that was really prestigious, just since I had done really well in school. And then also I was looking for somewhere kind of far away. I just wanted like a big change in my life, which I don't really know why, just that's what I wanted. And then yeah, I just wanted to change, and I just wanted to go somewhere far away because I wanted like some independence, you know, have some fun or something. Just kidding, that was so bad. Oh my god, why is this all so bad? I wanted to go somewhere far away because I just wanted kind of a change in scenery and a change in my life, and just like kind of a new adventure or journey or something like that, you know, something inspirational and kind of corny. But yeah, I just really knew I wanted to go somewhere far away because I've lived in El Paso like pretty much my entire life, except for a brief year or two when I was 3 years old. I lived in Phoenix. That was fun. But other than that, I've just lived here. This is like the only climate I've lived in, so I just wanted to go somewhere far away. That way I could see like what I like, what I don't like, which is like the cold, because I don't like the cold. And yeah, those were basically my reasons for it. So something prestigious and something kind of far away. The next thing I wanted to talk about was how I found Notre Dame. So basically what I did was I googled best business colleges for undergraduate students, and I just scrolled through different lists that ranked all the colleges, and as I was scrolling I would just kind of like bookmark colleges that I recognized their name, or I had received like mail from them. You know how when you take like anything that has to do with like College Board, they just send you a bunch of spam mail. So some of those, like the more prestigious ones, I would save their names and I'd be like, oh, like I've heard of that, I've heard of that. So then I would add those to my list too. But then my dad told me that I had to pick 5 schools to apply to, and that was pretty hard, like narrowing it down to 5 schools, you know, because I mean there's just so many options, and it's hard to make a decision because, you know, you don't want to pick somewhere where you're not going to be happy or where you might not get in. So it's just kind of difficult. You have to weigh your options very carefully. And the reason that I chose Notre Dame as one of those options was because my dad told me this story about my great-grandpa. So my great-grandpa, he lived in Highland, Indiana. I'm not sure if he lived there his whole life or not. My family's military, so that's how we ended up down here. My grandpa was in the military, and my grandma married him and came down here, obviously, but they were both from up north. So my great-grandpa lived in Highland, Indiana, and he was a huge Notre Dame fan, and so was my great-grandma. And when he passed away, he actually was buried in a Notre Dame sweatshirt. So I thought that was kind of cool, and I was like, cool, like whatever, I'll just apply to Notre Dame. Yeah, it would be like a cool story if I got in and stuff like that. So I ended up applying here simply because of that story, which worked out in the end. So I filled out my Common App and all that stuff, which I talked about in my how I got into Notre Dame video. So if you're interested in that, I'll put like one of the little cards here, and you can click on that and go watch that too, but then come back to this video and watch this video too. So that's how Notre Dame ended up on my radar. Then things that I kind of just liked about the university was obviously it was prestigious just in general, and then the business school, Mendoza, is also really prestigious. It's been ranked very highly for many years, so that's why I chose it. And then also because It was kind of far away. I mean, Indiana, definitely not like the ideal situation or spot that I wanted to be in. I wasn't like, oh, I have to go to college in Indiana. But, I mean, it was like a big jump. Location was just more, it wasn't like, oh, I want to be like, yeah, I don't really even know how to explain it. But it worked out in the end. I was like, oh, I'll get to experience like seasons and weather, which is something that I don't experience down here. And I've decided that I don't like the cold. And I thought I would always like the rain, but the rain smells different up north. It just smells like dirt. In the desert, it smells like the plants that we have here, which I just thought was a normal rain smell, but apparently not. So that's how I ended up, oh wait. So that's all for the location. I don't know if this is gonna make any sense when I try to put it together, but hopefully it does. I ramble too much, and I never know where I'm going when I talk. Like, I just start and it just goes somewhere. And then something else that was interesting about Notre Dame was it was Catholic. I didn't really apply to many like religious schools. I am Catholic, but that wasn't something that I was like necessarily looking for, but it was something that made the university stand out for me. So, I mean, it was kind of cool. I've always gone to public school. My mom and grandma both went to a private Catholic school though for, I think, elementary, middle, and high school. They went to the same one. But I always just went to public school, but Catholic school is always something that I kind of wanted to try, you know, just because like in my daily life here in El Paso, I don't have very many friends who are religious. I actually have a lot of friends who aren't religious, which is a huge contrast from Notre Dame. A lot of people there obviously are religious, and God is like a huge part of your life. You can actually like integrate it, and you can like talk about things, and professors do like pray in class sometimes. So I don't know, it was just a big change, but it was like definitely something that was welcomed and new for me. And I did like that. So, I mean, if that's something you're interested in, that is something to keep in mind. And then the last reason that I chose to go to Notre Dame, I don't know how I want to break up this video. Okay, and then one of the last reasons that really sold me on Notre Dame was the financial aid packet that I got there. So I received a lot of scholarships to where I'm pretty much only paying for room and board there, which was great. Obviously, I don't want to be graduating with a ton of student debt, so that was a huge determining factor in me actually going there. And then, yeah, so just to recap, the way I found Notre Dame, I googled best undergrad business schools. The reason I applied to Notre Dame was because my great-grandpa was a huge fan and I thought that was a cool story. And then things that I was looking for in a school was prestigious, kind of far away. And then something I wasn't looking for was Catholic, but something that I liked about it was Catholic. And then one of my determining factors was scholarships. I think what really sold me on the tour, which unfortunately for the class of 2024, you guys won't really have this opportunities, but my campus visit. So a lot of people, when they visit Notre Dame, or like the first time they step on campus, they talk about like this magical moment where they just knew that it felt like home and they knew that that was the place for them. So I was like begging my parents, like, I have to go to this admitted student day tour. I have to go. And it was like the very last one that I was like planning to go to, because all the other ones had passed before I had like realized that I wanted to go tour the school. And so I was like, I have to go, I have to go, I have to go. Like, how am I gonna go to the college if I've never been there and all this stuff? So I went and I visited, and obviously it's a super beautiful campus. So that's something that I really like about it. It's something I was kind of looking for in a college. I wanted one that was not like old per se, but like where the buildings look kind of like historical and cool like that, because I think it just adds like a really nice vibe. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. You know when you see mood boards on like Twitter and Pinterest where it's like studying mood boards and like that kind of stuff? It just has like that vibe where you're just like, wow, I'm like at a really prestigious university that people have been going to for like a really long time, and you just kind of share like that unique history with them. And I mean, obviously I don't want to go to a school that has like ugly buildings, because I do like taking like pictures and stuff like that. And so, I mean, obviously we have our golden dome and she shines every day and she's beautiful to take pictures with, and I miss her very much. So I think that's a huge perk to Notre Dame, and something I really liked about it was just like the beauty of the campus, because something that you can just be proud of later on. And college is something that everybody can rep for like the rest of your life, because that is your alma mater and it's something to be proud of, because it is a huge accomplishment. So that's something that I liked about it. Another thing that I liked about the campus tour was just like seeing the people on campus and how friendly they were. I mean, I know like they do hire people for these jobs because they're friendly and they're good at like having a bubbly personality and talking to different people. But at Notre Dame, like, everybody is really willing to help you and everybody's actually super nice. So that's something that really mattered to me, was just because, I mean, since it was a huge change, I've always been kind of shy, as I mentioned in my last thing, and in my last video, and I used to not really like change that much. But I don't know, the like campus culture of Notre Dame really is just different. They sell you a lot on the whole idea that like it's the Notre Dame family, and when they say that, like, they really mean it. People there really do care about each other. Everyone's super nice, and like, I don't know, it's a huge like family. Actually, it's just a really good culture and I really like it. You can just definitely feel those vibes. Like, as soon as you step foot on campus, you can tell that like everybody there is Irish. Another thing from the admitted students tour that really sold me was they broke up the tour where you could go with your specific college and then you got to sit in on a lecture. But it wasn't like sitting in on a lecture, actually. I guess it was more of like a mock lecture. But I got to listen to the man who like helped make the Keurig speak in my mock lecture. He's one of the marketing professors at Notre Dame. So that was super cool. He's definitely a really good speaker. And it was just really cool to listen to and like kind of see the lecture style. It was really just nice to see like how some professors teach and like how class would be, like the kind of classrooms you get to sit in, what it'll be like, and just kind of how the professors are. We also got to speak to a lot of the different administrators and stuff. They definitely had like a lot of panels and things like that. And I would say even the faculty at Notre Dame, like, there really is just like such a huge pride and just kindness about everyone. And I think that's something that Notre Dame really does a good job of curating people for. So how do I want to phrase it? The faculty there just really does care about their jobs, and they really do care about their students. They try to make those meaningful connections because they really do want to help you later on in life. So for example, like the advising faculty, if you're skipping class, like, they do kind of keep an eye on you. So like if your rector notices that like maybe you're kind of down and you're skipping class and your professor reports that you're skipping class to your advisor, they kind of all meet up and they'll talk about it, and then they try to get you the necessary resources that you need. So that's something that like my parents really like, because they're kind of like looking out for you. I mean, it is college, so you do have a lot of freedom, and a lot of people do skip lectures, so don't worry, like, they're not babysitting you, but also like they are looking out for you and they do have your best interest in mind. And that's just something else I really liked. Like, I don't know, I just really don't like when adults are dismissive to people who are younger than them, and at Notre Dame that's definitely not the case. All the adults are really nice and they're actually there to really help you grow as a person and help you succeed in life. Something that I just liked about the school in general was the Irish network that you grow. So I remember from my admitted students day tour, they had a panel where alumni came back and talked about it, actually. And this woman who was now a mother, her and her husband both went to Notre Dame, which is another thing. I'll just interject it here. I was gonna wait, but I don't want to forget. It's so funny. When I was at the like, it was where everyone was there, not just like the College of Business people. It was more of just like a general like information meeting. They talked about how dang, I can't even remember the percentage. I think it's like 48% of Notre Dame students marry Notre Dame students. So they were like, not only did we pick like the best class, we also picked your future spouse, and we did a great job of curating that for you. So I just thought that was super funny, but also super cute. Like, you can be domers together and you can get married. And then also something that they had mentioned they didn't really talk about it, but they just mentioned people being double domers, and I just thought that was such a cute little phrase. Like, if you go to Notre Dame for your undergrad and then you go to like grad school there, then you're considered a double domer because you graduated Notre Dame twice, and that was something else I just liked. Now I have to think really hard about what I was talking about before. Okay, the woman who was on the panel, her and her husband both went to Notre Dame and they graduated there and got married and all that stuff. And she actually stays home with her kids now. And she was kind of just deciding, like, do I want to be a stay-at-home mom or do I want to work? Which is like an issue that most women do deal with, because I mean, it is nice to stay at home with your kids, but also she invested a lot of money into her career and her education, so it was just something that she was thinking about. And she just talked about how she reached out to all of her old girlfriends from Notre Dame, and she was able to kind of like talk the decision over with them, because they really are there for you. And she also talked about how she just kept in contact with a bunch of people that she went to school with, and how they were so close that not only were they in each other's weddings, they were also attending each other's children's weddings. And I just think that's really cool that you build such strong relationships, which you do that at most colleges, but you build like really strong relationships at Notre Dame, and they're so strong that like strangers are actually willing to help you, which is kind of where I was going with this story actually. So they have this thing called Irish Compass, and it's basically the Irish alumni network, and all the alumni and all like Notre Dame students are on that, and it's basically just a way to help you network your way around the country. So that same woman talked about how she had a friend who didn't go to Notre Dame, but her son, how she had a friend who didn't go to Notre Dame, but her friend's son was in the military and he was being stationed in Hawaii, and he was just having a really rough time kind of transitioning and just living over there without any family. So she reached out on Irish Compass to find the Irish alumni who were in the area of the military son in Hawaii, and she reached out to them as a complete stranger, asking them to meet another complete stranger and just kind of welcome him to the community and help him feel more at home. And those people who went to Notre Dame, they actually invited him over for dinner, and they told him he could come over anytime, and it just really helped him like adjust to life over there on base and just in Hawaii in general. So that was like a story that I really liked, because like it really is true. Like a lot of people who go to Notre Dame, it's like one of those big networking schools where people are super proud of, obviously. So they really will help you, and they really will keep your best interest in mind and help you grow as a person and help you succeed in life. So that was something else I just liked. Those were pretty much my reasons for choosing Notre Dame. I'm going to do a part 2 sort of to this video and do things I wish I knew about Notre Dame before I went there, because someone had also requested that. They requested like why I chose Notre Dame, and then some things that I wish I knew before I went there, so I'll do one of those. But that's going to be kind of like a part 2 addition to this video, so stay tuned for that. Maybe it'll be out either next Tuesday or next Friday. Yeah, it'll be out next week sometime for sure. But other than that, I think that's all for this video. So comment down below Irish Pride or any questions that you have. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.